Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to the local lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. Hi, I'm Mel, your executive producer and promotions lead.
Hello, I am Jordan, and I am your other co-host. I am also your A&R lead.
Ayo, it's me, Alex, in Prod A, making sure the sound is sound, and let me tell you, it sounds like sound. We're doing good.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems in a group effort to promote and showcase the local music scene here in Fredonia, but also Western New York at large. Welcome to The Local Lowdown.
On this episode, we have our guest for the week, Humble Braggers. Hi, guys. What's up?
Hi.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
So why don't we start off by you guys introducing yourself and the role you play in the band?
Sure. I'm Tom S.
Okay.
I play bass, keyboards. I play guitar. I'm the tallest member.
Tall Tom.
Tall Tom. Big Tom.
Gotcha.
I'm Tom Bertless. I sing, play guitar, and keys at the moment.
And I'm Matt. I play drums.
Nice.
Easy. Straight to the point.
Really easy.
Castlers. Plays drums.
Cast lures. Oh,
Bass Pro Shots. Sponsored.
it's called enunciation, dude. Casts lures. That's hard.
So I'm wondering about the formation of this band and how you've developed over time from 2013 to today.
Sure. Yeah, 10 years. So it started with me. I wrote an EP in my basement of like my first apartment in 2013. And then I guess the quick abridged version is did that, kind of hung around for a bit. It was just me. I was trying to find people to play with. When I was putting out the second EP, Disposable Friends, I had met Matt maybe about a few months prior. And just really, we kind of hit it off. He was playing in a band that was similar to Humble Braggers, like a synth-pop kind of thing called Smart House.
Gotcha.
R.I.P. I really like that band. And so Matt joined in 2015, and then a friend of ours, Brian, was playing with us. So we were like a trio for a while.
Okay.
And then Tom joined in 2017. And in 2017,
Sounds about right, yeah.
yeah. So I think there's a lot of other people, but because they're not in this room, I'm not gonna mention them.
Gotcha.
Gotcha.
Fair enough.
I did want to talk.
Sounds kind of like, I don't know, coded. Like it was.
There's drama.
No, there's
Yeah.
no
drama.
But there's like maybe like 8 other people that are part of this, and if I
I
went through
gotcha.
the whole thing,
You know
it's
what?
gonna be the whole
The
interview.
many humble braggers over time.
Yes.
Yes.
If we had a Wikipedia, we'd have one of those really complicated
Yeah,
charts.
it'd be like,
Yeah.
it's like
You
this
know,
Color
one
chart.
from these
yeah.
years.
The bar graph of like
Yeah.
the times.
Oh
of
my
the-
God.
And they have
People
instruments
do
too,
that.
so it'd be really.
Yeah. Oh
it'd
yeah.
be really
Wow.
Because people did like leave
Family
and then come
tree.
back and then changed instruments, so it would be about 1 million. Yeah, it'd be a lot.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to
Yeah.
get that going. We'll start working on that.
It's like
for
a
you.
family tree, just like
Yeah,
connect
yeah,
the
pretty
dots.
much.
Jeez.
That sounds about right.
I have a question for Tom B. Small Tom.
Nice.
You've mentioned that it was a little weird for you losing control of the project as you became a full band of individuals. You even compared it to being in a relationship. How has the chemistry of this group developed? Kind of touched upon this a bit.
Sure.
If you want to elaborate.
Yeah, no. I think it was definitely something to, like I said, the first 2 releases were just me.
Yeah.
And so when Matt and Brian were when we went from like a 5-piece to just the 3 of us.
Okay.
Then to a 4-piece. Now we're back to a 3-piece. But when we went to that, I kind of realized that some of the people that were playing in it previously like had left because I was just writing everything and basically going to my friends and being like, hey, can you help me play this music?
Yeah.
And at some point, people don't want to just be playing the parts and whatnot, unless you're in a cover band, which everyone here is totally cool with playing in a cover band.
Yeah, I love it.
But no, I think there was just, we were working on material and I kind of wanted to broaden it out of like, if we're going to make something and I want people to be part of this, I kind of need to release some of just the creative control of all that stuff.
Right.
I think we find a good balance. There's definitely like the album we put out in 2021. There's a few songs I think I could say were primarily me. It's the last song on the album was written by Tom and Matt almost entirely.
Gotcha.
So it's kind of like it's been a very slow process.
Gotcha.
I think from that time of
Yeah.
when we wrote the full length album after Disposable Friends, first thing as like a band. I came to everything with like half songs written, and then these guys like helped me finish the rest of it pretty
Right.
much. By we got to Love and Fear, we were pretty much doing everything as a band and deciding what we wanted to do. We were all in a room in front of a Logic session, deciding, oh, that sucks, that's good, like every step of the way.
Right.
So,
Right.
so I would say overall, it's been great. It's nice to just feel like we can all take different parts and run with it.
Right.
And also, I think the stress of those first 2 EPs were a lot of, I mixed everything, recorded everything. When it's just you and you're only a soundboard against yourself, it gets very like, oh my God, I don't even know if this is mildly okay music anymore.
Yeah.
So having other people is a big part of it now.
Yeah. Well, in terms of having other people, you've also mentioned that you have some shared struggles with anxiety, and you've channeled that into the music, particularly Far Away. Also, you mentioned Love and Fear, which just came out 2021.
Right.
What has been your process with that, and how did you learn to be vulnerable with each other over time, and how did that affect the music?
I think, when it comes to lyrics are not my favorite part of music.
Okay.
Like, if you listen to a lot of early demos, it's mostly gibberish. For like, I'll be honest with you, or just like a bunch of words that sound good in a space or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it really depends. I think some songs I kind of try to subconsciously lean into, like, if there's a phrase that comes out while I'm working on something, then that's what that is kind of pulling towards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think especially around that time, around a lot of stuff that's been written that we've done about songs about anxiety, which Love and Fear is a good amount.
Yeah.
I mean, the past 3 releases have a lot of that.
Okay.
Everything post Disposable Friends. I think it was just, you have to touch on, if you're going to write a song about something and like it has to come from I think an honest place. I'm not a good person that can like do like a concept album or take I wish I had that skill set, but I unfortunately don't. So I've had anxiety for probably about 10 years now in many waves and many sizes. And it just seemed like a natural thing to like as a good release for that kind of a thing. But I will say now, Love and Fear, like, Tom wrote lyrics for that same song. Like he wrote a lot of the lyrical content, helped me with lyrical content.
Right.
I think we're now kind of making a more concerted effort together because I don't like to do lyrics that much.
Yeah.
And if anyone has good ideas for it, I'm all ears. So, but it made sense, like music for us, we don't do this as a full-time job.
Yeah.
And if it has to be some sort of release, and that's, all of this, the music that we're writing has to kind of be that. And that made sense for me. Is that and breakups. And that seems to be the two consistent, like,
The themes.
the themes.
Or the one about your wife.
Or the one about my
Yeah.
wife. There's some good
Loves
ones
his
now,
wife.
too. There's some
Okay.
positive ones. On Love and Fear, there's a song called Only that is about my wife.
Oh.
So
We've been trying to split them up so we can get some good material. Trying to really ruin the marriage.
Oh no.
Gotta write one about your dog now.
Yeah.
Well, there's your concept album right there.
that's true.
The Canine concept album
I would-
coming
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
I think both of us would quit if that was ever
Yeah.
actually
There's a lot of emotional depth to that dog, so I can
Yeah.
see that.
Oh yeah,
Oh, of
a lot of
course.
trauma.
That dog has some issues.
Oh God.
I did want
Poor
to talk
Ollie.
about some of your musical features, like on multiple shows. For example, iZombie, Teen Mom, and other DC comic show, like The Flash. So how did these come about? How did these opportunities kind of arise?
I know I've been talking a lot already. Matt, do you feel like you can take this one, or do you want me to? Do
Yeah, I mean that was. I
I
think.
just don't want to answer.
I mean,
We
I
have no
wasn't.
idea.
I wasn't the point person for that, but I think I can summarize it in a way. And if I'm doing something wrong, just give me a wink.
I sure will.
We had management at the time, and we just basically got a license manager, liaison that was in touch with people that were looking for music for their shows.
Okay.
And we got some
yeah.
deals in some nice, let's say, B grade television shows.
There we go.
Oh. Can we
Yeah.
edit that out?
Well,
We-
it
we
wasn't
put
Game of
A in
Thrones.
there?
Let's not be.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
not-
that's
Yeah.
true. No, it was to piggyback off that a little bit.
Yeah, we did the opening theme for Seinfeld, actually.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
did I miss that?
No, that all came about our record label that was who kind of facilitated that. So
Oh, gotcha.
they had all their material that we were a part of on working with a licensing agency, and then they would just reach out to us and be like, "Hey, we really like." I realized I was just tapping on that. They reached out and said, "Hey, we think the song might be a good fit for X," and then it's kind of a mild contract negotiation,
Yeah.
and then we sign off, they sign off, our label signs off, and everyone wins.
Yeah. So they
Wow.
kind of brought what song they were thinking to you, and you were just like,
Yeah,
cool.
Gotcha.
yeah.
It wasn't like you were like, this song would be good
I will
for
say,
this.
as a funny story for this. So when you get it sent to you, or at least how I've gotten it. So what they'll do is they'll say the show, they'll say the episode and like the name, which means nothing unless you watch the show, I guess. But
Yeah.
I did not watch iZombie or The Flash, so I had no idea what any of the stuff was.
Yeah.
But they would give you kind of a mild scene description of like this is where it's going to get used, so you can like approve or deny it. And probably the biggest one, the iZombie one. We were the only audio in the scene, which was really cool. There's a song "How It Starts," which was the first song we did for the session today, and we're the only song in the. But the scene is someone watching a sex tape of like their like
it's like
that.
10 seconds of like
It's just that, but it's just like we're the audio in the sex tape. Like they had us
Interesting.
on. Wow,
No.
and I was like.
yeah.
Huh.
It's
I was
like it's like
okay.
it's like playing through laptop speakers and the scene starts and somebody like walks into a room and like sees somebody watching a sex tape and they're like, oh!
And it's Tom in the tape too.
Yeah.
a really big get for me.
Or
Yeah.
honestly, the other
Some
funny
for your
one
extra
was Teen Mom. To at the end of those episodes when they played Heart.
Yeah.
I just remember like laughing at that. Just because
It's just like
Teen Mom.
quasi. Yeah, it's like
just
this.
the subject matter, and then I don't know, just hearing that on that TV show
Yeah,
is just
yeah.
hilarious.
It was a song that
Like,
went into the credits, and it like was like they used like almost the entire song, and I was like, "Wow, all right, it's trying to be this like whole quasi like
there's like
crazy
people
ending."
crying and like big emotional outbursts, and it's just like it's just ridiculous.
So yeah, some fun stories for that.
I did not know that's how they came about, but that would be really interesting. Like
Yeah.
them describing it to you, like without seeing
Yeah,
the person, you're just
'cause
like, yeah.
You get like 3 sentences,
Right,
Like this
right,
is
right.
it, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, okay, I guess, sure, fine, like
And then you eventually see it, and you're like, okay, that's how that turned out.
cool.
Yeah.
And I work in an office. I'm like an engineer, and I made the mistake of telling my boss about that at one point, just socially. I was just like, "Yeah, the band has had these syncs on Teen Mom," and he introduces me like we'll get a new intern, and be like, "This is Tom, this is his job," and he gets to the end, he's like, "He's been on Teen Mom every time, vendors, whatever they come in," and it's just
Teen Tom.
absolutely Teen Tom. Yeah, he introduces me as Teen Tom.
Wow.
Yeah,
Great intro though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
it's only up
Unforgettable.
from there. So.
yeah,
This is Tom. His music sucks, and I hate it.
yeah.
Well, since you've got some of those placements and I guess some more mass appeal, but you're also a local band.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the dichotomy of that for you all.
There's no dichotomy there. Sorry. Continue.
yeah. I guess is there? Yeah. Could you elaborate?
I guess just the idea of being a local band, but you're also trying to break out a little bit. Or are you?
Well, I think we were for a bit. I think that I don't know why I was thinking about this earlier today. I think there's nothing worse than a local band that gets something and then their egos go to the like we've been friends or we've played with or been friends with
Yeah.
Right,
bands
of
that have
course.
gone through that to some degree.
Okay.
And that's the worst. That's the worst
Yeah.
thing on the planet. And like there's people that do take off legitimately and then, blow up and that's like awesome and
Right.
great. We have friends like that too.
Yeah.
I think when we maybe in like 2016, 2017, we were trying to make a run at it. You know what I mean? Like we put out a first album, full length album, and we were doing really well with show turnout, and we had gotten we opened for Metric and we opened for Naked and Famous. We had some big things kind of
Some
happening,
tours.
Yeah.
some touring, and so.
That was like around the time we got those like licensing deals too.
Yeah. So it all kind of like that all happened at like one big
Yeah.
time.
Right.
But it was kind of one of those things like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
Right.
it doesn't.
Right.
We have people that really like us we're happy to just be doing this because we like to do it. We're gonna do it anyway. I think is kind of how we feel it now.
Yeah.
You know, we're all Matt's an engineer. I'm a software developer. Tom's an engineer. We're all in our
Right, yeah,
careers.
right.
We're
We're all
definitely
older.
Yeah,
Like-
I have a wife. Matt has a kid. We're all kind of we're older. I think we're just at a point now like we do this, and if songs blow up, and we had a crazy cool opportunity to tour with one of our favorite bands or something like that, absolutely,
You'd
we'll
go
figure
for
out a
it.
way to
Yeah.
do it. But for the most part, we're just gonna keep putting out stuff. People love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If it blows up, if it ends up in another Teen Mom episode, great. It's not something we're gonna be mad about. But
Yeah.
Right.
I think we just do it because we love to do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it.
That's
anyway.
really all it is. It's just doing it for ourselves. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really,
Yeah.
nothing worse than like a local band who's maybe got like one thing and then they think they're like the coolest band
Right.
Yeah.
ever. And it's like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
everyone.
Probably
Yeah.
bad for them.
Take a breath.
It's a good answer.
Stop.
I mean, you have to have such like a lot of momentum and consistency with
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like that, and
Yes.
placements
Exactly.
and media and
A lot
everything
of like
like that
social
to
media
get
presence.
like
too,
to quit your day job and make not a lot of money.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
really tricky to get anywhere with it, and there's so much talent out there now that it's just. I mean, it's 1 in a million.
Yeah, you just gotta. I mean, when you do momentum, you just gotta keep doing it. But it does put a strain on like everything else. You know, when we were doing all that stuff when we were playing those shows, like it's hard to make time for other things. Thankfully,
Right.
we were primarily all single at that time, which opened that up. But like, once you have a relationship, once you have other things going on, other responsibilities,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
it's very hard to prioritize that. Like,
Right.
oh, I have to do this 5 times a week, or we have to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Plus, we've all seen that cycle like several times over, where there's like like kind of like a carrot and a stick, where you see something, an opportunity, and like sometimes it falls through, and you get hyped up, and you're like, oh my god, and then it
Yeah.
falls through, and then maybe sometime it does,
Yeah.
and then it's just like at this point, it's
Yeah.
just do it because you like to do it.
right.
Exactly.
Right. That's a great answer.
Well,
It's a very humble bragger
kind of a cheat
answer.
Matt puts the humble and humble brag.
there you go. But I think you do bring up a very good point of like, obviously commitment gets in the way, and like a lot of the people that we have interviewed over like the last year and whatnot, obviously some people like go on tour, like people have other commitments, and it's very often where they're like, hey, we're doing this for fun, we're making music because we want to, and we make that time for it. But as you mentioned, like consistency is always like super, super important, because like at the end of the day, like yes, you guys all have obviously personal lives and you guys have jobs and stuff like that, but that is not also stopping you guys from also releasing music and doing what you guys want to do. So that's great to hear.
Yeah.
It's crazy because when I even was a freshman, and this was like, I think I reached out one time for like a show. Wow. I'm just remembering all this. But I remember hearing you guys like my freshman year, and I was like, I love this band. And I was like, I would love to see them perform here. And I think this was 2019 in particular. I think you'd either finished, I don't know when you guys played at BJ's, but it was at some point where I was like, I would love to have them or like here at some point. But
Sure.
I think that also like begs the question of like, when was like the last time Fredonia was like close and home for you guys, or at least in terms of performance?
It was probably then. I think
Yeah?
the last time
Before
we
the
played.
pandemic.
Yeah, I think we played. I'm struggling to remember exactly when, but we all know the show.
2018.
Is it 2018?
Yeah,
Or early
because my
2019?
daughter was born in 2018, and it was the last show before my daughter was born.
Was that really?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a-
There you
there's a-
go. There's
there's
your
a
fact
mason
check
jar
right
one?
there.
The Mason jar, the infamous Mason jar
Yes.
show.
Okay. I was just talking to them how we just have.
It was
really
one of the
tall-
worst shows
tall,
that I
large
personally
huts.
have ever played ever. I
It
didn't-
was.
I will say it was to give a quick thing of that show. We maybe played like 10 songs. It was us and Space Cubs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now
awesome.
Tiny the Dream.
Now Tiny the Dream.
Got it.
Done an interview with them. Check it out.
Oh hell yeah. Oh, I hope that. Is that right?
No, you're good. That's
Okay,
okay.
that was mild, right?
Mild enough.
Yeah. So we were playing with Space Cubs, and we're good pals with them. We played with them for years. Suzanne sang on one of our songs,
Yes,
actually off of
I've heard
our full length, first full length, and we were just all kind of pretty loose, and we're like, oh yeah, like let's like drink, let's really like have a good time. And I would say now, for the most part, even before that, we were lightly tempered. I think we kind of had a rule of like, all right, like maybe 1 or 2 drinks before we play, but like nothing, like nobody go, yeah. Tom
Got
just
it.
did air quotes for everyone,
Yeah.
not
For the
watching
home
this.
audience.
Yeah.
Right.
So Matt just drank a ton. And Matt's our drummer, and we play to a click, like all the stuff. We have backing tracks. We have all this stuff that's synced to a click and stuff like that. Synced to our metronome. And it was just like, I remember we played like the first song, and I hear you coming out of drum fill, and I was like, nope, that's not on time. And here we go. And then halfway through the set, my voice completely died out of nowhere. And so I just had to do everything in like falsetto. I could do falsetto, but I couldn't I'm like, obviously.
Tiny little Mickey Mouse voice for full set.
Yeah. It was both those things. I'm just like, well, this is the worst show ever. And then there was also this very obnoxious, do you remember? There was like a couple up front that were like older. And they were like screaming at us to sing "Happy Birthday" to their like friend that was there. They were drunker than Matt, and they were just screaming and we're like trying to just like do our set, and we're like,
that was the same show too that guy like got mad because he asked if he could sit in on the bass.
oh,
It was like an old guy.
yeah.
It was like an older guy the same night.
So all this to say,
I don't
Whatever. It's just it was a weird night. It was a
all
weird
this to
night.
say, we'd love to come back.
We need a fresh start with
We
Fredonia.
need a redemption
Yeah,
tour.
please.
And then before that, we did did like a
man.
gym concert in like the
We played
the
at your
big-
guys'
in the gym.
gymnasium.
Oh, okay, like the
Okay,
field
you
house.
said gym, and I
During
was
the
like,
pacer test.
is that the name of a venue?
We played the gym.
The Fredonia gym.
Yeah, no, we literally played your gymnasium.
Steel Hall, I think, believe it is.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
I think we accidentally drove up to that first. We drove up to that
That
first.
also involved alcohol too.
Yeah, it did. We did drink some
We need to
moonshine
stop-
in like
stop
Matt's
it.
car before
We
playing.
need
It
to
was pretty
stop.
good.
Need to stop the
Makes
talk.
us sound bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's fine. We're all
good.
good. We're not bad.
We're
But
healthy.
listen, like I also VJs is like a good time. Like, well,
Sure
I mean,
is.
but I also get the rule. Let's just say we've had our fair share of, and when I mean fair share, like one or two, a couple interviews where we're like, we can't use that. You know what? Let's just cut that one out.
Yeah.
But that's also like us doing interviews at the bar. So like it's give or take. Like it's
Sure.
very
That's
short
always
and
interesting.
tiny.
Yep.
I don't want to bring it up again because I feel like I do it at every other interview, but it's so funny.
Well, just to move on to another topic.
Sure.
We've went down the BJ's rabbit hole
Yeah.
far enough for today.
Different topic. How much do you guys drink? I know.
What's your favorite drink?
7 to 9 times a week. 12 to 15.
But last March, you mentioned that you were working on about 15 new demos, and then by the summer, you said you were taking a little bit of a break to work on other projects.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say about the ebb and flow of the band's efforts over time?
So I think like we put out our last full length Love and Fear end of 2021,
Yep.
and we did kind of a lot that year. We did some live session stuff. We played a few shows. We opened for Joywave. We opened for
Yeah.
a few other shows. Gymkata, I think.
Yeah.
And Ironworks.
Yeah.
That was a fun one. And I think after that we had started. So we played in a cover band called Time to Pretend. Does like 2000s indie stuff, and we had kind of started that up at the end of 2021, kind of coinciding with the release show, as kind of thinking like once we're kind of through this, let's maybe take a break. Though we were kind of quiet, I think throughout the pandemic, we spent a lot of time on Humble Brag. A lot of time on that record.
Yeah.
We were getting together like twice a week. We were re-recording stuff, making trips to where we record drums in Batavia. Made a few trips out there. Did a bunch of overdubbing session, like all this stuff, rewriting songs, pulling songs, and then we weren't intentionally going to release with that, and then
Yeah.
finishing them.
Okay.
We just spent a ton of time with our kind of heads down, working through all that stuff. And so I think that was like, we were just, I don't want to say we were burnt out, but it was just, we put a lot of effort into that
Right.
release, and it kind of felt like I need to maybe focus on something that's not
Yeah,
this.
gotta
Yeah.
go live your life a little bit,
Yeah.
then maybe come back.
Yeah, totally. You know, Tom and I have jammed on a few other ideas. It's kind of post-punk project that's still kind of in the
cool.
works. And you know, Matt plays an 80s cover band as well called Invisible Touch.
Nice.
And so we do a bunch of other musical things. We all have home studios. We all are writing and recording all the time.
Yeah.
That 15 demos has probably turned to like
A lot.
35
Right.
Wow.
demos at this
Stuff.
point. We always are pushing out new stuff. I
Okay.
think we've just, as we get older, I think we're a little bit more selective on what we're really gonna. We'll all come to the table with a million ideas, but we get a
Right.
little bit more selective of this is a thing we want to pursue. This is a sound we want to pursue. This
Right.
is maybe we'll do this now and we'll do this later. It's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the answer to that question.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I think I don't know what artist it was, but like songs sometimes take years to finally be like, you know what, I finally want to put this out. And some people are a lot like either more quicker to it, be like, I made
Yeah.
a song, I want to
Yeah.
put it on this new EP or like new album or whatnot. But like it is very common of people being like, listen, you like half these songs, they've been like in the works for like 5+ years.
Yeah.
Like I need a break. And it
Yeah.
is, I totally get it because it is a lot of work to put into it. And
Yeah.
you guys are always working on stuff. So it makes very much sense.
Yeah, and in the spirit of that, right now we're hopefully like this summer we're going to be putting out. We're actually kind of going back to a bunch of old demos that we have and finishing those up
Nice, there you
right
go.
now. So kind of trying to do a little exercise of like, I love this song when I wrote it in 2015. Can I finish it now and put it out and make it feel a little bit like
Yeah.
newer
Right.
stuff and all that kind of thing? So
Right.
that'll be on the horizon soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for now, I think we're going to focus on some of the material we already have out, and we're going to jump over to our live set. All right. Take it away, guys.
Only as a it's already been made. Now you're safe, but it all comes back someday. Keep your mind at bay to let them see you can't throw this away. I know I'm not fine, just need to wait. And this space is not right, well, just can't. Just let it out, burn through all you know, and come back down. Now settle down. See, you're not too scared. You'll come around. I know I'm not fine, I just need to wait. And this space is not right, well, just can't. Losing my control, I took this risk and took its toll. Feeling like a mess, I'm blinded by all this stress, but I don't let it be. So let's kill some time and drink on party. Stuck inside my head, it's a dangerous place I've come to try. Am I okay? I just need some time. Am I okay? I might need to lie. Broken after all, I took this risk and took its toll. Cleaning up again, just keep on trying to pretend that everything's just fine. I'll get by in due time. Am I okay? I just need some time. Am I okay? I might need to lie. Am I okay? I just need some time. Am I okay? I might need to lie. There's no takeaway. Stop before you decay. time. Am I okay? Might need to lie. Am I okay? I just need some time. Am I okay? I might need to lie. So how far will you run from the only thing that you love? Can you hold on to all the pieces you made up? 'Cause you only have what you've made us feel untrue, and you can't pretend that these are sifting through. You close out, you shut down. Might be time to find something new. You hold out, hope now. One day it all comes back to you. Will you only have what you've made and it feels untrue? And you can't pretend that these are sifting through. Do you feel love? You got nothing left to say. Do you feel love? You can get out of your way. Do you feel love? You got nothing left to say. Do you feel love? You can get out of your way. Do you feel love? You got nothing left to say. Do you feel love? You can get out of your way.
Thank you guys so much for your
Thank you-
set.
thank
We
you very
really
much.
appreciate you coming down from Buffalo,
Happy to do it.
making it happen, especially when you haven't been performing much. So
It's true.
Well, there you go. This is also our last electric set of the semester. We've only ever done 3.
yeah,
It is still a work in progress. I'm gonna say project again. Just because, again, as we mentioned, the electric sets are mainly geared towards artists that maybe can't particularly do acoustic in here, or we can't fit like 3 guitars and like a whole drum kit.
Yeah,
So
I can see why. Jordan, we were emailing back and forth, and you were like, well, how big? I was like, yeah, we want to bring like a keyboard or whatever, and you were like, well, how big is it? And I was like,
oh yeah,
well,
I think I asked like
that
the
was an interesting
dimensions or
Yeah,
something.
I don't think I've ever gotten that question
yeah,
before.
I did remember telling
I
him
think-
to ask because there's one particular interview that like people have bring in different sizes of keyboards, and
Sure.
it was like massive, and I was
Right.
like, you know
We've
what? Let's
had a lot of
ask.
different size keyboards.
That's fair.
Definitely worthwhile to ask.
We've done acoustics. We actually did do kind of like an acoustic session here. That must have been like say 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
I
maybe.
wasn't here.
You were not here. Matt was not here. For the record.
I wasn't here for it.
And so we just did like a kind of a simple thing with like I think we had a keyboard and a guitar like in a line out, kind of like what we did with the
Right.
guitars for the session that you
Right.
just heard. But it was, but yeah, for the most part, like we kind of realized like if we did a full band thing, it was going to be actually easier for us to jump into that than try to figure out an acoustic
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
it just
I'm
would
glad
make,
we can make it work.
make
Yeah,
more
same here,
sense.
same here.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, in terms of performances, you've mentioned it, I think, a couple times, but last April you performed at the Town Ballroom opening for Joywave. You've also
Yes, we did.
opened for Metric, some other bigger bands as well. What has your experience been like being the opening act in those scenarios?
Tom, you want to take this one?
As the person who's
Passing
been
the torch.
at least national act opening shows, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the venues are really big. There's
Yeah.
usually a pretty big built-in crowd. It's really flattering to get asked to do those things.
Yeah.
Right.
Joywave's pretty consistent about asking us to open at like
That's
ballroom
awesome.
when they're in town, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, the first 2 shows we opened for Joywave, I think the first 2 shows I ever played with the band, and I just like
Wow.
and
Grown
I
up
was really
there.
new at it, really green to it, and we played in Buffalo for like 1,000 people, and then we went to Toronto to a similarly sized venue.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and
With a too tiny keyboard.
at the time we had this really small keyboard and a keyboard stand I couldn't get very high, so I just looked.
It did look like
Like,
there's a few
I
I
really
can't curse
good
on air, but it did not look great.
yeah, those shows, those are awesome. I think they're fairly easy going because you're the opening act.
Yeah.
If you show up, you're the last person to sound check. You kind of just get everything squared away, and it's nice. We've done ballroom probably, I think 5 or 6 times now. Usually, mostly those shows. Then we did our release show at the front room of ballroom, which was also great.
That was a fun time.
That was great. That was last May, a month after that. So that was kind of
Yeah.
like weirdly, Joywave was was us like getting in shape for the like our release show. So it was like, yeah, let's just go play in front of 1,000 people.
Yeah.
This will be a good way to shake.
Yeah.
I was the first time we did it. It was a Metric show, and I've told this a few times, but like when we got on stage, so we sound checked. It was very surreal to be there. Town Ballroom was my favorite venue ever. I grew up going there at a million
Awesome.
shows.
Yeah.
And to be on stage, like, I saw M83 there and Kaka, all these bands that we pulled from that I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm actually on this stage. And we 2 little like funny stories of that. We were loading in and Metric had a semi that they had all their they had crazy light show and a ridiculous amount of equipment. So they had a semi. So I'm parking my like Volkswagen Golf behind the semi to load out like a bass cab out of
Just
them.
a
Like,
bunch of like wires.
yeah, like
wires and
loose
stuff.
wires. I'm like, well, I feel very out of place in doing this right now. And I wheel in the cab and Metric sound checking, and Emily Haynes, I think it's Haynes, is just like, hi, and I'm just like, what am I doing? What are we doing here? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we're used to playing like a weird DIY like house shows at that point, or like
Yeah.
all this
Yeah.
weird. And so it was kind of crazy. And then we do the thing we set up. It was good. And then we go out to perform, and like with the most people we'd probably play to at that point was maybe like 200-300 people. And we go out and it's just like 1,000, 1,100 people, or whatever. I think 1,000 to 1,100 people. And I'm just like shaking, my hands shaking as I'm like picking up my bass. Like,
Yeah.
all right, I really hope I don't mess up.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah, they're a good time. They're a really good time.
But yeah, it's funny.
There's no
it is
pressure.
kind of in its weird way low
Yeah.
pressure once you get used to it, because it's like no one really.
Yeah, because you're the literally.
Yeah,
It's just like
that's
because
one way to
most
look
people
at it.
aren't there. I mean, no one's there. Most people aren't there for you. So like, if you
Yeah.
turn a couple heads, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
You got something.
Some
out of
people
it.
did come to those only for us, and I was like, you could like, and some of those shows were like $50. I'm just like, you can see us for like $10
Next
like,
week.
next week, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'd like really appreciate it, but like,
Well, there you
wow,
go.
it's a lot of commitment.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to pass it
I
off?
think we're ready. I think it's the final entrance
Final
from
entrance.
this little special merch gremlin.
Little lad.
He's coming out of Graham for his final entrance. Here he is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hello. I'm back. You all know me as the tech director, Alex, here at the local lowdown, but I do have another job that my friends might have just mentioned. I am the certified merch gremlin of the group. I'm looking for band merch. I'm digging for it. I'm in the gold mines. I'm searching. And let me tell you, those are some pretty nice shirts, some nice sweatshirts you got.
Yeah, I
Thank
saw
you
those
very
crew neck
much.
sweatshirts too.
Thank you very much.
I really like the white one with the circle logo. That's a good sweatshirt.
Oh,
But I-
thank
I've
you.
seen this. I don't think I've seen this yet.
You haven't seen our merch?
Does it have the
No.
it's a
band
floral
merch.
circle, right?
It's the old print. It's the floral
The
circle.
floral, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay. Right on. Yes.
Breaking news.
Matt.
Breaking
All right,
news.
a little fun thing about Matt. Matt will be the first person to be like, I don't think of it, and it's every time, and then you're like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I remember.
Well, what?
Well, I gotta ask: is there anything new coming in the horizon? Maybe some new sticker ideas, new shirts, or maybe even some physical media for that album?
Ooh, that's
No physical media.
probably not.
No, we're so beyond that.
I will say this.
Philosophically.
We've sold way more
digital
CDs
band.
than anyone should at this point. Like, we sold a ton of CDs. I still have boxes of CDs of our first full length album because like people buy it on Bandcamp or people buy it on like whatever, and that's all nice.
Yeah.
I think CDs like. One of my cars doesn't have no, both my cars don't have CD. Like, I just don't know who it's even like an asset for.
I have a CD player. This guy.
Little merch.
man.
I collect everything. Let me tell you.
Oh,
I got records. I got CDs, cassettes.
We've had people.
8-track.
We've had people ask about vinyl. No one's asked about cassettes. I kind of refuse to do a cassette.
Oh,
What?
Are you all
hurts our
cassette?
Well, I don't collect
cassette
cassettes.
heads?
We make
We
we have
like-
our own cassettes and
Yeah,
we
CDs.
like
Oh.
convincing bands to put cassettes.
Oh, okay.
together.
Because they're
That's
easier.
kind of-
They're
All right, so
One
then
thing we do.
what is the like cost of doing that? Is that like more expensive than
Oh, no.
pressing a vinyl?
It's less expensive. I would say like when the local lowdowns made cassettes, it's maybe costs like if you do it yourself, of course. We hand paint and hand dub it all. It costs maybe $3 a cassette most.
Ooh.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just it's like a hard thing where I'm like, I would love to do vinyl. I would love to do that. Is like
There's
economically out of
it
the
is.
There's no
question.
demand
Yeah.
for it.
Oh
The-
yeah, and
The
Even
people
the
that like our
CDs.
music don't like. I just
There is some. Well, I've had people ask us about like vinyls and stuff,
yeah,
and I'm
but
like,
not enough to
I'm like,
justify the
right, I'm like-
$3,000.
and you have to wait like a year, 2
understandable,
years
yeah,
for
right.
it.
It's
So
a long
it's
wait.
it's very
It's not-
tricky.
Yeah.
We'd love to do it. We'd love to do more of that stuff. I do like the shirts. We got stickers, always like a big thing. We did magnets. So there's a few things on our
Shampoo.
site. Oh yeah, the weirdest one we ever did when we did Cycle. Matt actually Tom made the label for it.
Yeah, yeah.
We
it's
had
like
a song called Reckless, and it has like this line like rinse, wash, repeat, or whatever. And we are like, what? Like Matt was like, I can get custom labeled shampoo bottles, and if we like had that on it,
That's so cool.
guys
and
still
so we still have
a ton of them. I don't think
we still have like
Oh.
Like a
40 of
handful.
them,
Oh.
Yeah, there's
like
a
40 of them in a
handful.
bin somewhere in my
okay,
attic. but
I need
we
one.
we
I
ought to
would
place
love
an
a
order
humble
because I'm
bragger
so interested.
listen, I'll come back. You got it.
It is bad soap. It is not good. For your skin. It's not good
It's
for your
okay. It's not
hair.
going to be used.
It's like hotel soap. It's just so.
Hey, don't give
Oh
away
no,
the
it's
goose.
really good.
We gotta push these soaps.
Matt's still got to make his money back on this soap. We literally I think we gave them away for free at the
they
Cycle
were
release
just
show. It was just
handouts.
we do try to think of stuff like what's a weird, funny thing. Like everyone does,
Yeah.
and everyone's kind of explored all the, like koozies or a lighter with the band
Right,
name on it,
there's
like
a
all that
lot of
stuff.
that stuff.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, if you've done all that, I would like hats. I think hats would be fun.
Hats would be cool.
Humble
like
braggers
hats.
catch.
I could see like the text logo on a hat.
Ooh, there we go.
What?
Humble Braggers ketchup packets.
Yeah.
No, the whole bottle.
Oh, the
Oh,
whole
did you say
bottle.
that?
Yeah,
Oh, I
it's
thought it's a little hard
The
to
packets
see.
would be kind of funny though.
In the reflection, like Tom's face is lining up perfectly. And I'm just like, I don't know what's.
The altering of reality.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pleased that hopefully in the near future we'll get some Humble Braggers ketchup bottles.
Yeah,
Now
absolutely.
we have to. That was a bit-
Listen, I am a
least
ketchup
one.
fiend. I don't have anything without ketchup. I'll be buying a couple bottles.
There we go.
That's
There you
fantastic.
Beautiful steak and ketchup. Have your steak with a humble braggers ketchup.
Well done. With ketchup.
I'm your humble braggers, George Foreman. Real
In your humble braggers efficiency apartment.
white labeled, yeah. The house of the future. That's our merch thing. Is we just have a house of the future. Like,
Go from
Yeah.
like CDs to just rental apartments. Talking about the future, any upcoming shows that you'd like to tell everyone?
So not for us. We are booking shows. We didn't do a ton second half of last year, but we're booking some stuff right now. That'll come out later, more fall time for this. The three of us do play in a cover band though, called Time to Pretend.
MGMT shout out.
Yes, we do play an MGMT song. Not that one though.
Which MGMT song?
Electric Feel.
Nice.
Yeah, it seemed like a good
Classy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people love it.
people do love it. The kids love it. And so, no, we're doing that. We're playing Nietzsche's June 10th.
Nice.
Yes, so follow Humble Braggers and Time to Pretend. Buffalo,
Gotcha.
I think, are the two handles. Just gotta get the plugs in.
And Salt Bay. 3 follows, Instagram follows you should be doing
And Salt Bay.
in Salt Bay.
Along with that, we were talking about upcoming releases right before. Anything you guys want to tell us, announce?
So like you're my mom. Anything you want to
Wanna
tell
tell
us?
I didn't
You have a
realize the way
release
it
coming
came out
out?
was very like.
I've seen those demos, Tom. You got something to tell us? I've heard them.
It's gonna go back to like the sex
Certified
tape.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we're right now we're working on a bunch of stuff. Some stuff for later. Hopefully this summer we're gonna be putting out an album, and it's all songs that we've written over the past couple of years that we never finished. So we're finishing a bunch of kind of half demos that we've collected over the past year. I think it's gonna be about 8 or 9 songs. We're kind of still in the throes of it, but that should be coming out this summer. Yeah.
Nice.
The heat of it.
The heat, yeah. Right in the heat of summer.
And what can you tell us about the sound of those songs? Is it kind of similar to what you've explored before? Any different themes?
I think some of it, I think the cool part about this project is, so I'm kind of at the head of it. We're all working on it and we're all collaborating on it.
Yeah.
But, the idea of it was, if I found an old demo that I really liked, I kind of wanted to stay true to that.
Okay.
Whatever the sound was at the time. So there's songs from 2014, there's songs from 2020. They do sound pretty different. I'm trying to
sure.
make it production-wise that everything kind of exists in the same space, but you know, there's songs that kind of sound like our first EP a little bit, which is cool. It's kind of like trying to run the gamut a little bit and lean into like all the phases we've had as a band. So
Wow.
it's a fun project. It's definitely kind of gotten me back in the swing and spirit of doing this. And then on the opposite side, we're working on. We just had a session writing back in February. We've probably got like 2 EPs worth of material that will make its way either way end of this year or early next year. Start putting that out. That's very different. So, yeah.
Looking forward to it all. Thanks.
excited.
Yeah.
Thanks for giving us the little lowdown
Yeah.
on what's coming
Well,
up.
there you go. I'm looking forward to these ketchup bottles. I think so serious. If not shampoo
Yeah.
bottles.
Yeah. You can empty, I mean, if you really want to risky, empty out the shampoo bottle, put ketchup in there.
Oh,
It's gotta be its own. It's gotta be its own.
I said if you want to risk it.
We both made the same face. I'll think about it.
So good ketchup.
Anyway, but thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
It is now come full circle post 50 emails back and forth, and it's worked out. But that being said, that concludes another episode of the Local Lowdown. Again, thank you guys so much for coming on. And pleasure being on for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
This is Mel signing out.
Oh, gonna miss you guys.
And Alex signing out. I've done all my editing duties. No more 9 a.m.s on Monday frantically editing the last Local Lowdown episode because I totally forgot to do it on Friday.
Yeah.
No more.
Thank you both so much for
course.
going on this local music journey with me. I wouldn't have wanted to do it with anybody else.
30 full episodes and about 50 little lowdowns, give or
Many
take.
episodes, yeah.
Wow.
It's come full circle.
Wow.
Listen,
All in
like,
the past year and a half.
During
It's quite the
COVID,
resume.
oh yeah, during COVID, like obviously there was a year without Local Lowdown, and I was supposed to host my freshman year, but I had a copyrights class, so that got in the way. And then I wanted to restart it, and basically it was just me, and I was like, oh, how do I do this? And I couldn't. And then I recruited these two fools. And then from then I recruited like everyone else.
She told us, you want to get involved in local music?
I said,
And
you're
we were
my
like-
music guy.
You were like,
You're my sound guy.
yeah. And then we got full-time jobs.
Yeah,
No pay.
practically.
No pay, full-time job.
Great resume, though.
Yeah, there you go.
But that being said, it has now come full circle. I
Yep.
think we've accomplished way more than we had intended to begin with.
Yes,
And
it will continue on.
there we go.
We'll have some fresh faces here next year. I won't reveal them yet, but I'm sure
Not
you
just
could
yet.
you could ask a couple people and figure it out if you really
yeah,
wanted
we
to
got
know.
our new host for next year.
But
buddy.
I'm looking forward to working with them, and it'll be another great semester of local music. And on that note, thanks for tuning in to the Local Lowdown on 88.9 WCVF The Voice and 89.5 WDVL The Inferno. We will be back next semester with some more excellent local music. Same time, same place.
Bye, guys.